Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I'm right now living in Alpine, Wyoming, which is just south of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Hope to be here for at least a year. Anyhow, if you want to find out anything about me, go to Facebook, MySpace, or Twitter, where I have accounts. This here is a concept pitch to help the American military recruit new people. It would, I believe, bring some security to people who join the armed forces and people who are sent to war, especially in places obviously like Afghanistan and Iraq. Although I hope those two wars come to an end soon. And of course, it'd be nice if we never had any more wars for all eternity. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But this also applies to military personnel who are injured here in the United States. The kind of people I'm talking about are American military personnel who have been maimed in some way while serving in active duty. And that would be people who go blind because of a roadside bomb, who lose a limb, arm, hand, any type of limb. Uh, what they should be guaranteed, in my opinion, and I think you'll find most American taxpayers would be very supportive of this idea, is that they should be guaranteed when they come back, not just a disability check, but they should be guaranteed a job. We have a lot of people come back from Iraq and Afghanistan that are still looking for work. They're not really being helped out as much as some people may think they are. They need to be helped, and they need to be guaranteed a job and some way to support themselves. In my opinion, if they need to be re-educated, they need to be educated so that they can make a living for themselves, and if they have a family, for their families. That's the least we can do. And this should have been something that should have been offered to all military personnel from back around the, Revolutionary War. It just makes sense. We send these people over to places like Afghanistan and Iraq, and a lot of them come back here, but they're still not very well taken care of. They can go to the VA hospital, but that's not exactly a great perky, let's say. It's not a great place you want to go to. Believe me, you don't want to go there. Not most military personnel don't want to go there. It just isn't what some people may think it is. Anyhow, that should be offered at least to a future generation of American soldiers. I wish this had been done before and had already been acted a long time ago, but unfortunately it hasn't. We don't have enough people in our government that are creative enough or care enough to come up with an idea like this. And if they did, they obviously just don't care. Simply put, they need to be guaranteed, all our soldiers need to be guaranteed an education at least, or a job when they come back. If they are maimed, and as I said, they lose a limb, they lose their disability is to the point where finding work is going to be difficult. The military is responsible to make sure that they can be employed in a decent job. And I'm not talking about working at McDonald's either. Now, I will add another idea on top of that one that might make it a little bit better. Again, I'm one of those advocates who believes in using all military bases that have been closed down, but are basically still intact. I mean, they still have housing. The barracks are still there. The BX is still there. Commissary is still there, and so forth. I believe that throughout the country, we ought to have a number of bases that are opened up, not only for homeless people, as I've advocated many times over. That means homeless vets, but also a place for maimed soldiers who come back who can't find work where they are, where they can move to these bases, get housing, especially if they got family. If they're single, they can live in a barracks or a dorm, and be provided a job. Again, it's not as simple as it sounds, but it can be done, and we could probably bring in private employers to help make it a reality. The base would probably be opened up to the public. Just like you go and just like here, I can get in my car and go here in Alpine or up to Jackson, and there's really no restriction. The same would be there on these old military bases. Although you probably might still have to have a gate because you want to make sure you keep crime out of it. But it would be a place where a soldier who can't find work, he can apply to go to work at one of these bases and be provided some type of job and possibly get the training that he or she needs to work on that base and eventually get off that base. It wouldn't be a permanent, thing where that soldier or former soldier stays for life. But it would be a place until he or she can find a job outside the base or off the base. Simply put, that's just what I believe. And I think the American military should offer American soldiers, future American soldiers at least, uh, and this should be part of the recruiting tool, that if you're injured, meaning maimed in some way while in the military, that have to be defined, you will be guaranteed a job when you come back. And if you don't have, and you will not be stuck out in the streets, you will not be left in the unemployment line. Because let's face it, the disability check isn't going to be very much. There's, in these days, it doesn't mean a whole lot. It may just get you by, but they're basically still living in poverty. Well, we can't allow that. Just, it's a horrible thing to lose your hand, go blind, lose a leg, be paralyzed. You need something, an assurance that Uncle Sam is not going to desert you. And this is one way we can do that, where Uncle Sam says, I will not desert you, soldier. You will not be deserted. Anyhow, if you like my idea, please pick it to your congressional representative, and maybe it will become a reality. We can only hope. It's a long shot, but somebody has to say something. Thank you for your time.